This is the accordion drill. This is one of the most fundamental long jump or triple jump landing drills for beginners all the way up through elite athletes. Everybody practices this drill, so you definitely need to know this and have this in your toolkit. I'm going to demonstrate this video or this move right here, and then we'll go into how to do it and why we do this drill. But first, let me demonstrate so you can just see it in action. I got a box, something that's got me elevated up, and I'm going to do this step by step, and then I'll do one fluid motion, and then we'll go into why we do this and how to do this and etc. So all right, and then I'll do one fluid motion. All right, so that was the accordion drill. Accordion is one of those musical instruments where you go right, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Is we're going to be landing in the sand, compressing, and then expanding again. So that's kind of the concept behind it. But the reason we're going to do this drill is it's going to help us actually get more distance than we would if we actually just landed on our butt like doing a cannonball. So I was at a meet the other day, and I overheard a parent sitting in the bleachers right next to me going, "Oh man, my son landed on butt. He would have jumped so much further if he landed on his feet," which isn't necessarily the case. In the previous video, we talked about how if you throw a ball, it's going to go up and it's going to come down, right? But if I catch that ball up over my head, then it stops and it's caught at the distance from here to my ground. So it only had a chance to go there and then it got stopped. If I didn't catch it, what does it do? It keeps going past. It's on a set path and it's taking a set angle. It's just going to land way out there. It's the same thing when I'm long jumping. If I jump and then land with my feet down, it's like I got caught the ball up here. I stopped right here. But if I like done a cannonball, I would have kept going way out there. That's kind of what we're trying to do and emphasize in this drill is if I did a cannonball, basically we can think of like where my butt's going to land if my feet were just kind of out in front of me. So I jump, I go in the air, and then say I land. I'm going to tuck in my shirt so I don't get sand in my pants. This is a little fun tip right here. Tuck in your pants or tuck in your shirt. Get sand. So if I do a cannonball and I land, boom, that's the path. I did this nice jump and I land down here, so I get that full distance, right? So notice my feet are out in front of me and my butt lands here. So my set trajectory came in right here where my butt lands. That's great. But notice my feet are out in front of me. So when I land, I can actually get more out of this jump because, one, if I just landed a cannonball, that's a lot of compression on my spine. That's putting me at risk for injury. That can hurt. It can kind of stunt your progression. But if I land with my feet out in front of me and I actually absorb some of that energy into the ground by using my legs, well, one, it's going to prevent injury. Two, it's going to displace some of that energy. But three, the most important aspect is I can actually do like a little hamstring curl. So I hit and then I kind of pull backwards like I'm doing a hamstring curl, and I'm going to pull my hips forward to my feet. So my legs land, my butt would land here, but instead, because I pull, it lands up there. So I got an extra like 6 inches, almost maybe a foot of distance just from doing that little boom pull. Okay? So, and it doesn't matter which long jump or triple jump landing style you do. So in the previous video, we talked about the different styles of techniques. It doesn't matter because with all of them, you can do that same pull action to get yourself a little bit more distance. So what now I can do is come over here, and this is kind of the progression. So I'm going to have either myself, if I'm the athlete, or I'll have my athlete come over here, sit on the edge of a box. If I don't have a box, I can do it on just something that's a little bit raised. It's ideal. If you have a chair, that's perfect. And just have them put their feet straight out in front of them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get on this nice box, and I'm just going to put my feet flat out so that I can sit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have them put their hands next to it, and then I'm going to have them just push to get their butt to sit down right there. So I'm going to push to sit. Okay, so and this one I'm using my hands. So have them just get comfortable getting into this nice tight spot. Okay, so have them do that 1 or 2 times. Okay, you got comfortable. Now the next thing is my feet are down, and now I'm going to still push, but now I'm going to really pull into the ground. I'm not lifting my feet up, but I'm going to keep them down. Also, you notice we're at a track. People are running. That's part of life, right? I can't be out here and not have people running. I think that's what's so cool is you can be out here with so many different people and everybody's just part of the track. All right, so I'm here. my feet are in the ground. I'm not going to lift them up, but now I'm going to really pull back like I'm doing a hamstring curl while I push. So now I'm pulling, and you can see it's a little more fast. It's a little more aggressive. All right, that's good. That's what we want. We want to have a nice pull. Now the next progression is I'm going to actually lift them up and smash them into the ground and then pull. So before I was just pulling. Now I'm going to lift up and then pull. Then the final step is now I'm going to pick up, pull, I'm going to push myself forward, and then I'm going to try to kick that sand either forward or almost up like I'm doing this. So it's going to look like this. So I'm boom, boom, and I'm going to throw it up. All right, once we get that, the next phase, there's 3 total phases with 3 steps each, okay? So the second phase is I'm now gonna just come out here in front of me. So now I'm elevated, I'm holding myself forward. So now I'm going to just be in this kind of pike position sort of, and I'm gonna just push and pull at the same time. So push and pull. All right, now I'm going to raise one leg and slam it in the ground. Finally, I'm going to be in this nice raised position. I'm going to raise one leg, and then I'm going to kind of join them both in the air to do it. Okay? So, that's phase 2. Now we go to phase 3. So, phase 3 is where we put everything together into a real accordion drill. Got to fill in my sand pile here. Alright, so, what we're going to do is we're going to mimic running down the runway, jumping, flying through the air, and landing. So when I run down the runway, think about my arms, right? I'm going to start off with these big giant arms because I'm going to have low heel recovery. You want larger ranges of movement because you're putting more force in the ground. So when you start running, you got big ranges of movement, and then as you get closer and closer to the takeoff, they're going to get faster and tighter, right? So you go boom, 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 boom. All right, so I can kind of mimic that and have my athlete work on some arm swing mechanics. Then we're going to get up here, we get nice and tall, and then we're going to jump. So I'm a left-footed jumper, so my right knee is going to pop up, my left arm is going to pop up. So boom, 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 boom. Notice my right arm comes back. So that's step 1. Boom, 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 boom. Step 2 is both arms are going to come up, and I'm going to get into this nice boat hold right here. All right, so boom, 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 boom. All right, step 3 is I'm gonna do a little crunch. Okay, so I'm in this hold right here, and I'm gonna do a crunch. That motion right there. That is so important. And in another video that you'll see, we'll do the ribs to thighs, where we'll talk about getting our ribs and our thighs to touch while we jump. And then in another video, we're going to talk about the leg shoot. And all these videos, that little crunch is so important. So we're here in this position, and we're going to boom, that little motion right there. When I do that, I'm going to swing my hands down to touch this. So boom, 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 boom. That little crunch, and my hands came down. So I do that crunch, and my hands come down, and then I start to rock forward with it. So it's like once this comes together, it's like then they get stuck, and I start to rock forward with it. So I'm not then just coming down here. Once I do that crunch, I come down with it. Then I'm going to push with my hands, pull with my hamstrings, push and pull, and then we kind of go through the progression we already learned from phase 1 and phase 2. So I'm going to boom, 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 boom. And then I'm here. Now I'm going to push, boom, and boom. Okay? So now we can kind of put it all together, fill in my sand. Put it together. Now if you want to go a little bit faster, you can. Fill in my hole. And that is the accordion drill. I love this drill because it allows you to go through progressions. Once you get that, I'll give you a little sneak peek at some of the other drills that you'll see. Mine as well. So I'll go ahead and just shift this over. And here's a little sneak peek at some of the other drills. For the ribs to thigh drills, here's a sneak peek at that. And for the leg shoot, here's a little sneak peek at that. So be sure to check out some of the next videos. I'm going to talk about those. Really hope you enjoyed this. Remember, I make these videos because I wish I had this information when I was a kid, and now you have it. So go check it out.